Today we're going to cover Persian War 3. This is the final day of the 3-day series of Persian War lessons. We're going to wrap up the Persian War today. We're also going to discuss the effects that the Persian War had on Greece. So, let's review before we begin. In the first Persian War, you have Persia against Athens at the Battle of Marathon. Athens wins. They send a messenger back to Athens to tell the news, 26 miles straight run. He tells the news that the Agora ends up dying. This is the name of the first marathon. You had the second Persian War. Persia, Sparta. Sparta fights the last man, the last stand of 300, Battle of Thermopylae, against the Persians. Sparta loses. Persia is tied with the Greeks 1-1. This leads us to our final battle, Persian War 3, Themistocles and the Battle of Salamis. Themistocles is the new leader of Greece. He wants a naval battle. He persuades the Greeks to have it at a place called Salamis. Greeks have 378 triremes. Now, what you need to understand about triremes is triremes were way before its time. Triremes were nobody else in that region had anything anywhere close to triremes. Persians had 650 to 800 ships that weren't even close to a trireme. Greeks only lost 40 triremes at Salamis. Persians lost 200 ships, 50,000 men. They move on from Salamis to Battle of Plataea. Plataea is where the Spartans had one last effort. They threw everything they had at Persia. They took all the people that they had recruited out of the Spartan city-state, and they threw everything they had at Persia one last time. The Greeks ended up killing 250,000 Persians and ended the Persian threat for good. So, small Greek city-states end up defeating the Persians in the Persian War. How did the Greeks do it? There are three main reasons. Home field advantage is one. Any time in history that a group is fighting on their home soil, they are willing to fight more and harder than the other group. Whether it be the Persian War or the American Revolution. Any home field advantage, you are willing to fight harder and stronger and more resilient. Better soldiers. Even if you have more soldiers, that doesn't mean they're going to fight as good. Less are easier to train, and they're going to fight that much better. Each city-state is better soldiers. Surprise element. The Persians thought they were just going to walk into the Persian War and walk right through Greece and be able to take over any place they wanted to. These little city-states surprised the Persians and they weren't ready for it. That's the surprise element. Now, let's talk about the long-lasting effects of the Persian Wars. There's two main effects. The first main effect is it led to the Peloponnesian War, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It was the war between Athens and Sparta. It also led to Greek power for 200 additional years throughout Europe. The Delian League was also formed. It was an alliance led by Pericles of Athens to defend further Persian invasions. They collected dues from its members. The problems with the Delian League was it forced its members to stay in permanently. It used its money to rebuild Athens. So it took each city-state that was paying the dues to rebuild Athens. Other city-states did not like this. It also promoted democracy only. So it withdrew oligarchy, tyranny, monarchy out and said democracy is the only way to go. So there were some severe problems with this league. So today we have talked about who won the Persian War, the Greeks did, why the Greeks did it, and how the Greeks did it. We've also talked about long-term effects and the problem with the league, that the issues and what this is going to lead to a little bit later on in our Greek unit. This is the Persian War and the series of Persian War lessons for today.